In this video, I'm going to reveal the viral fat loss strategy that is sweeping the internet right now, getting men to the leanest body composition they've ever been by eating more food. And I'm going to use one of our client case studies, my client Dan right here, to show you exactly how it's possible. So in this video, we are going to go through Dan's transformation, how we got us started in macronutrients, and the adjustments that we made each and every single week to get him leaner, eating 1,000 more calories per day and 200 grams more carbs per day. So stick around because I'm going to reveal the entire strategy step by step and give you guys all the sauce. So if you guys don't know me by now, my name's Adam Bunnell. I'm an online fat loss professional and I specialize in higher level forms of nutrition with metabolism manipulation. So I specialize in a process called metabolic priming, which is a process of priming each and every one of our clients' metabolisms to exceed fat loss expectations. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through step by step exactly how I've done this with almost 400 plus clients in just the last year alone, getting them to elite level body compositions minus what they do, who they are, and the specifics behind what we put into each client's plan. So in this video, we're going to go through an actual case study on how we do this with my clients. So if you guys have been watching my channel for some time now, you guys have been watching the strategies that I use, and I've been giving you guys all the sauce that I use as well on how we do this with our clients. But I want to actually show you a visible representation of how this actually works to a specific level, because the process that we use is predictable. When you know exactly how much protein, carbs, and fats you need to eat, you can manipulate the metabolism to burn more food without having to do more and eat less. Because the fitness industry has simply lied to you guys that says that you need to do more cardio and eat less food to get lean. And that's simply just not true. Because when you understand how the metabolism works, 60% of your metabolism is made up of the basal metabolic rate, which is breathing, blood flow, sleeping, organ function, and everything in between. And so us specifically, from a scientific perspective, we use a scientific process of fat loss to get your body to burn more food so you don't have to kill yourself doing cardio and starving on low amounts of calories. So let's get right into this case study because I want to first of all show you Dan, 57 years old, how we've gotten him lean as hell, eating 1,000 more calories per day. And it all starts within the macronutrients, right? It all starts in the macronutrients because the specific process that we use is something called carbohydrate metabolism. So what carbohydrate metabolism is optimizing the body for what it specifically burns the most, which is carbohydrates. Your body has preferred carbohydrates over an energy source. It wants to burn carbohydrates. And let's think about why. From a scientific perspective, like the body wants to burn carbohydrates because it's a ready available energy that can be burned at a very quick rate, as opposed to protein, which is slower burning and slower digesting, and as opposed to fats, which is very slow digesting with a 3% thermic effect. So how we get this is we dial in the macronutrients. The money is made within the macronutrients. The progress is made within the macronutrients. So if you've been tracking calories and you've been tracking protein but not your carbs and fats, then that is where you simply have gone wrong, because you can tailor a lot of hormone fluctuations, health, metabolic rate to actual macronutrients. So when we take a look at what Dan was eating when he did come to us, we can see right here that within this, he was eating 1,800 calories when he first came to us, 2,000 calories, 21, 2,000, 2,000, and all the way up until the 11th right here is eating right around 2,000 calories. Well, now as of today's date, he's eating 2,800 calories, and this is what he checked in this morning. This is the visual photo from 6/27 on where he specifically checked in this morning at. So how we do this specifically, and we're breaking this down to the formulas that we actually use, is we use basically a process of understanding where your starting macros are at first. So at 1,800 calories, that's way too low for a man. Like if you're eating below 2,000 calories, you are severely drowning out your metabolism. So when you start to eat low amounts of calories, your body goes through hormonal fluctuations and metabolic adaptations that slow down your metabolism. So the guys who try low carb diets, very extensive low calorie diets, they kill their metabolism. And so what we do is we come in and we revamp that 60% of calorie burn from your actual metabolism. And that's how all of our clients are eating thousands of calories more, down 100 pounds. And in some cases, like they look absolutely insane, eating almost 2,000 calories more per day. So how we do this specifically is when we take a look at Dan, this is where his starting macronutrients were: 215 protein, 52 fat, 167 carb. So he's got the protein goal, and most people do. Most men usually got the protein goal dialed in. Fat goal is actually pretty good. So in a lot of cases where I see guys come to us is the overconsumption of fat, but Dan's fat was actually pretty good. It could actually be used a little bit more fat into his diet, but he had like 80% of it figured out. He had 80% of this whole process figured out, but the actual tailored customization on changing each week when to change specific macronutrients, that like last 20%, that's what had kept him stuck for so long. And he's been low carb dieting, low calorie dieting, just can't finally get rid of the midsection. And it's all done within the macronutrients. You can specifically target lower midsection fat when you understand macronutrients and basal metabolic rate. So he started out at 1860 calories, and that's already way too low. So we wanted to actually start him off a little bit higher than what he was already eating, 2,000 calories. Because the thing is that you don't want to start this metabolic priming phase off with starting at like 2,500 calories, because your body is used to 1860, right? So the thing about calorie maintenance and what people don't understand is your calorie maintenance is subject to what you already have been eating. So if you've been eating under 2,000 calories for a while, then your maintenance calories isn't 2,500 or 3,000. Your maintenance calories is now where you've been eating, right? And so like the metabolic adaptations that occur and why these online calculators do not work is because you'll put the information in and you'll see that it says like 3,000 calories is your maintenance, 2,700 calories is your maintenance. Well, you've been eating under amount of calories for so long that you have actually adapted to where your maintenance calories are now under 2,000. So it wouldn't make much sense. So we had to start somewhere off very similar to where we've already been eating calorie-wise, right? So that's what we started him off right at 2,000 calories. 225 protein is good enough for Dan for building muscle, maintaining strength, maintaining tissue, and then we actually raised his fat ever so slightly to 60 grams. So the reason why fat goal is important is for a couple specific reasons. One, fat is actually correlated to what's called HDL cholesterol, which is human growth hormone, right? Also, fat intake is correlated to digestion. So in a lot of cases, the guys who like the dark meats and the guys who are keto, carnivore, and very just meat-focused diets, it can lead to a lot of disruptions within your overall digestion. And so we need to dial this fat goal in for overall hormonal effects of HDL cholesterol, but also optimizing digestion, right? And so what we do from this point is we get to starting protein and starting fat, and we backfill the rest with carbs to meet starting calories, right? So how this works is there's 4 calories per gram of protein and there's 9 calories a gram per fats, right? So we basically added 225 times 4 plus 60 times 9, which is just 1440. These are the total amount of calories for protein and fats. Then what we do is we take the starting starting calories, and we minus the calories from fats and carbs. And what we get is 460. And then we divide that by 4 because carbohydrates are 4 calories per gram, and you get that 150 carbs. So similar to what he's already been eating, yes, but we needed to start him off a little bit higher in fat and a little bit higher in protein. So what we did is, one, you can even see, and I'll show you the changes that we made each and every single week. We didn't change anything but carbohydrates the whole time. And this is an 8-week transformation, by the way. I forgot to mention that. But anyways, here's where he started on 425, right? Notice how like the inflammation in his gut's kind of like poking out a little bit. He just looks kind of soft and not as like pronounced with his overall muscle tissue. And so each week as Dan checks in, the things that we are looking for are body composition, overall weight, but weight really isn't a metric that really qualifies for the specifics on how you actually look, because we're trying to really gain muscle tissue and lose body fat simultaneously. So when he checks in, what we're looking for is how he's feeling, how he's looking, is his muscle tissue, is he gaining muscle tissue, he's getting stronger in the gym, and we check in each and every single week with each and every single one of our clients, and we make macro adjustments, right? So when we checked in after the first week, we can already see within his front shot how much his front shot has actually subsided, right? And so what we did is we added 25 grams of carbohydrates. What a lot of people will do is they'll lower the carbohydrates, they'll lower the food intake, but we do the exact opposite. We cut all of our clients' cardio and we add food to really target that 60% basal metabolic rate. And each week as he checks in, we make macro adjustments, 25 more grams on this, and we can see as the weeks go on, when he dials in those macronutrients, he's getting leaner each week. And as he checks in, as long as the boxes are checked with his weight's in check, his body composition in check, his energy levels are in check, his fatigue's in check, his gym sessions are in check, we give him more food. And so not every single week do we make adjustments to our client's food intake. Some weeks we have to wait 2 weeks for the body fully to transition and really start to utilize the newfound carbohydrates carbohydrates, but the same process does apply, is that each week, as you see Dan check in, he is getting leaner. Each week, his side shot's starting to improve. His lower midsection and love handles are starting to tighten up. So we do 25 more grams of carbohydrates. The next week, same thing. He looks better this week, so we gave him 25 more grams of carbohydrates right here. Next week, on the 6th, 25 more grams of carbohydrates, right? And then on the 13th, 25 more grams of carbohydrates. And like, you can just notice how much tighter, how much leaner he's coming in. And then what we actually did on this date is we got him to 2,700 calories, and he checked in the week after this, but we actually did not change anything. We wanted to give his body one more week to fully adjust to a more of a carbohydrate metabolism state. So what carbohydrate metabolism is, in an essence, is transitioning the body to using carbohydrates as its main fuel source, which means lowering the fat intake, raising the carbohydrates slowly, and getting the body to utilize glucose correctly. In a lot of cases, we do this, and our clients go get their blood work done very regularly, as their fasting glucose levels actually start to improve with more carbohydrates. We have clients that are borderline diabetic, and we drop their A1C by implementing more food and more carbohydrates, which is quite contradictory to everything you've ever heard online, but it works because we understand the science behind fat loss and the science behind hormones and the science behind endocrinology to the point we can make these macro adjustments each week based upon certain KPIs and data analytics that we make changes for our clients each week. And then, as you can see, on this date, we waited 2 weeks, and this is where he checked in today. Just absolutely shredded. And the thing is, we're not done yet. Dan's not only 8 weeks in. We work with our clients for up to 6 months, and he's not even doing any cardio. He's not eating low amounts of calories. He's not starving, and he's only not even gotten into an actual correlated fat loss phase yet, because as we get these calories up, Dan's getting leaner each and every single week. And once we get him up in calories, what we'll actually do is actually start adding a little bit of cardio and lowering the food intake even more. And that's how you see guys on our channel, guys that we work with, down 100 pounds because they'll lose 50 pounds in a metabolic priming phase, and we'll put them in an actual correlated structured fat loss phase, and they'll lose another 50. But let's think about this logically. How much more comfortable do you think this is to lose fat eating more food rather than starving yourself doing tons of cardio? The thing about it is it all comes down to correlated effort, because a lot of guys don't have a disciplinary problem. They can go out and they can do cardio, they can work out, they can starve themselves, but it's contradictory to what your body actually needs to lose body fat, because you can put all the effort in the world in the wrong areas, but if you put a correlated amount of effort in the right areas, you can do less, eat more, and get leaner. And this is a transformation that's going to be a very large transformation on our page with Dan right here, because he is nailing these macros perfectly. And you can even see today or yesterday, before we did raise his carbohydrates 25 today, is that like he is nailing these macros right on the dot, right? And this is what it looks like. We hit these macros with our clients between 1 to 3 grams, and that's where you get the hormonal effect and body composition changes that you see each and every single one of our clients get. And Dan's not done going up in calories yet. Like, we're going to get Dan up a little bit more in calories as he's getting leaner, because what we do is we utilize data and analytics to make specific changes. If his body is still getting leaner, eating more food, what are we going to do next week? Give him more food. But there will be a certain point where we get to the top end of your basal metabolic rate, and you'll be able to see within each and every single one of our clients that there's a certain point that you hit where your body has reached the end of a glucose cycle to where it is now fully absorbing all the glucose, and then we basically put them back into another fat loss phase, and we have them do a little bit of cardio. But now, let's think about this strategically. Let's say that Dan came to us and he was like, I want to get lean. And we were just like any other coach or in-person trainer. It's like, okay, let's start doing some cardio. Let's start lowering your food. And so we lower the food from 1,800 to 1,700 to 1,600 to 1,500. And now he's starving. He's malnutritious. He's losing muscle tissue. And it's just like leads to inadequate amounts of sustainability, right? And that's where people like will gain the body fat back, is because like a lot of people will starve themselves, crash their metabolism, try to add more food, and they'll gain weight really fast. As opposed to what we do, imagine if we get Dan here to like 3,000 calories, and then we're like, okay, let's start doing a little bit of cardio and lower a little bit of food. So we start at 3,000, we go to 29, 28, 26, 27. Notice how much more we have to work with. So the metabolic priming phase, in essence, is designed to gain muscle tissue, get you leaner, and position your body for more fat loss in the future when we go back into an actual fat loss phase. And this is the same process we've done over 400 times, which each and every single one of our clients. And it is a predictable process that is very, very repeatable when you understand endocrinology, how the body works, and how to specifically adjust macronutrients each and every single week. So if you are somebody who has been lied to by the fitness industry in the last 10 years, been pushed down your throat by low carb dieting, keto, and then you just keep gaining the weight back and you don't understand why you can't keep the body fat off, there's going to be an application link down below for you to sign up, because we are a professional in the space of understanding metabolic circumstances and understanding metabolic rate, and we will not only fix your metabolism, but no matter how old you are, we will get you into the best shape of your life. There's going to be a link in the description of this video. Click on it. There'll be a short little video that you can watch that kind of explains the program, and then if it's a good fit for you to work with us, we will write you a plan down to the actual T, step by step, on what you need to do from more scientific level to get to a lean body fat composition, but more importantly, understand the technology and understand the education on how to sustain it for the rest of your life. Because this is information that once you learn, it is repeatable. Once you learn this education about your body, what your body needs, protein, carbs, and fats wise, you can repeat it yourself and sustain it for the rest of your life. Because a lot of guys listening to this right now, you don't have a discipline problem. You have an information problem, right? You don't have the information and the education on how to sustain it. But once you have the education and have the information on how your body specifically works, maintaining a lean body composition is very, very easy, okay? So if you're somebody who has been struggling with low-carb diets and you've been kicked in the teeth by keto, carnivore, and all these BS diets that are pushed upon you by the fitness industry, sign up down below. We will fix everything, and we'll walk you through step by step how to get you the leanest body fat composition you've ever been while eating more than you ever have.